For our first story, we have update. I, 24 female, just broke off my engagement with fiancé, 26 male, because he told me he wasn't ready when proposing. We're going to therapy, but I feel like I gave up already. Help? I figured I'd post an update to this. I read many comments and they really helped me. Thank you for sharing your experiences, that opened my eyes. So yeah, TLDR, he wasn't ready when proposing. He won't admit it, but I'm pretty sure it was a shut up ring. Which is sad, because I never really cared about marriage in the first place. Now, we went to therapy. I said the same things as I've written in the previous post. He struggled to answer any questions, didn't really say anything that he hadn't before. Therapist suggested we could try living separately, but I think she could tell we're going to break up soon. Laugh out loud. I took a few days to think, but finally broke up with him about a week after writing the first post. It kinda broke me to see his reaction. At first, he was really dramatic, constantly tried to make himself the victim, something about us being a ship that's sinking. I'm about to jump and give up, but he's still holding on tightly. Accused me of not giving him the chance now that he actually wants to do something and change. I had to remind him a few times that he's the one who broke my heart first. He lied for months and took the ring back. Then more dramatics, crying, etc. But the next day everything was normal. He was behaving like nothing happened. No more fighting for this relationship or even being hurt. He said, "We're going to be good friends," and acted like nothing's happened. Over the next few days, I would occasionally get comments like, "If anyone asks what happened, I can't say we broke up. I have to say you broke my heart and left me," or, "At least you stopped pretending you love me." Other than that, no crying, no arguments. He was acting as per usual. It just broke my heart, again, to see how he didn't even try, that he really didn't care much. Shouldn't be surprised, really, yet here we are. I asked him 3 times to move out, gave him a deadline of 2 weeks, so 3 weeks since he took the ring back. He acted hurt, said, "Wow, I didn't expect you'd want to get rid of me so soon," but didn't really start looking. You know what actually made him get a flat and leave? My parents telling him to fuck off, because he lived here in their home this whole time, without paying any bills. They took him in like a son. They told him to pack his shit and never come back. Since then he's been acting offended that they treated him like that and he had to leave. He moved out yesterday. I helped him with moving. I'm on my own now, after 5 years with that one man. New year, new me, I guess? But yeah, thanks to everyone who commented and read my story. NGL, I would love some encouragement. It feels like a part has been ripped from me. I need to know this feeling will go away. Link. He found the first post and read the comments. He wanted to post his own comment to show his side of things. Thankfully gave up. Laugh out loud. That's the end of our first post. Let's see what the commenters had to say. Our first commenter says, "You dodged a major bullet. Your ex plays mind games, plays victim, won't take responsibility. You would have married a man-child. Congrats on putting yourself first. Closing parenthesis. Our second commenter says, "After 5 years with that one man. Your relationship began when you guys were kids and have now grown up wanting different things. Breaking up is tough, but you are quite young. You, throw RA 2,222,334. There is a whole world out there waiting for you. Live your life, find a job you like, travel, and don't settle for someone who will not fight for you." Our third commenter says, "New year indeed. Enjoy the present of peace. He wasn't the right one and he was willing to string you along forever, or until he decided to move on. He may have even been a homosexual, just using you. But grieve what you thought you had. Come to terms with what and who he actually was. Live your life and keep busy. That will help a lot. I have a ritual for breakups. 1. Deep clean the whole house. 2. Toss clothing and objects that are relationship specific. The dress you wore on your first date. The tacky lingerie he gave you. 3. Get pretty new undies. You deserve a treat just for yourself. 4. Change the bedding. Move the furniture. Don't sleep on the sheets he slept on. They're on sale now anyway. 5. Travel with friends or have a bit of an adventure on your own. 6. Hit the gym. Work out all of your emotions while you build muscle. Plus it gives you a place to be and something to do. 7. Have an evening with your best, most sympathetic friends. Nice wine and deluxe pizza. Let them love on you. Have them bring pets. 8. Get a new certification, get a master's, achieve a thing. Within a year things will look great, but no law says you have to suffer in the meantime. For our second story, we have. This weekend I, 29 female, got very drunk and told my boyfriend's, 35 male, friend's wife that he is cheating on her. I regret this a lot and created a big mess for everyone involved, and am looking for any advice on how to potentially try to salvage these relationships. My boyfriend and I have been together for about a year and a half, and he recently bought a ring but hasn't proposed. I think that might now be out the window because this weekend I got very drunk, and, stupidly and carelessly, and I cannot believe I did this, said to the friend's wife that the friend isn't faithful to her. This man does cheat on his wife constantly, as does his other friend who was there with us that night, with his pregnant wife. I have a lot of issues surrounding all of this, and I've talked to my boyfriend about how much it bothers me a ton, and he has basically said that these are his long-term friends and their actions aren't his responsibility or his fault. I do really trust my boyfriend, and love him so much, but I have serious trauma about married men being unfaithful because my boyfriend prior to this was secretly married and it really messed me up. I projected that resentment and anxiety onto his friends, and I felt it inside but kept it in, up until Saturday when I made the comment to his wife while wasted. It caused a fight between them. My boyfriend and I went home, and I texted the wife the next day to apologize, and also said that I was projecting things when I told her about the cheating. My boyfriend asked me to cover it up and I did, because I wanted to try to somehow preserve the relationship between my boyfriend and I and not jeopardize the friend's marriage, even though it gutted me to do so on a lot of levels. I know my feelings of anger about the cheating friends are valid, but it absolutely wasn't my place to say anything. I'm looking into therapy to handle my anger on infidelity, and I am considering seeking treatment for alcohol too, because I think I've been using that to cope with the painful feelings I still have that are left over from my last relationship. But I'm freaking out because now I have created this giant mess, both for my boyfriend, his friend, wife, and for the relationship between my boyfriend and I. I damaged his trust a ton, and I now look like a liar and manipulator. I am reeling and incredibly embarrassed and sad and really looking for any advice people might have about how I should approach things with my boyfriend, and if there is anything else that people could think I could try to do to make up for my mistake. Thank you in advance for any thoughts you might have. I'm really struggling and feel awful. TLDR. I got wasted and told my boyfriend's friend's wife that he is cheating on her. Even though this is true, it was not my place to share. I backtracked and the next day texted her to apologize and to say that this wasn't true, because my boyfriend wanted me to cover. This has caused a giant mess, and I deeply betrayed my boyfriend's trust, along with damaging my relationship with his entire friend group. I'm looking for any advice on how to try to make up for my mistake. That's the end of our second post. Let's see what the commenters had to say. Our first commenter says, "Your boyfriend has two close friends cheating on their wives. And he actively helps them conceal infidelity. This is not the mark of a trustworthy person. Sure, he may not be lying to you right now about this, but you know he is in principle okay with lying to you." Our second commenter says, "If your boyfriend sees no issue with his mates cheating and can look their partners in the eye with no remorse and then ask you to lie to cover up you telling the truth, he is not someone you should trust and isn't the right person for you when you have such strong feelings against cheating. Likely your boyfriend has cheated in previous relationships to not have any care about it." Our third commenter says, "You need to leave your boyfriend and tell those women the truth. You'll end up like those women eventually. He will end up like his friends." For our last story, we have M33 got a Seuss text from my wife 31, how do I process this? M33, married for a year to my wife who is 31, Within 2 months of marriage after being in a relationship for a decade, she took a job 300 miles away from where we live and our marriage never really got to settle down. Although the last year has seen its ups and downs, I have started to notice some off behavior. This one time while she was visiting I saw a text on her notification bar where this male colleague texted, "I am not going to be staring at you." She is almost always on the phone while visiting, but while away I almost always never get an immediate response from her. I could be overreacting, but for someone who always has her phone on her, it could be not too much to expect taking hours to reply to texts from your husband. Now here is the kicker. Last night she sent me a text out of the blue that read, "Babe. Smelling." Amazing. Unless there is some sort of text game going around that I am not aware of. I think that text was definitely not for me. When I asked her what did she mean, she said she was talking about this perfume I used to wear. It just doesn't make sense. We have been together for over a decade, but I don't recall her addressing me as babe. Just to be sure, I had this phone since 4 years and I just tried checking our chats to see if she has ever addressed me as babe, but I couldn't find any other instance. Let's just say she was actually recalling a perfume I used to wear. Why would she text, babe? Smelling. Amazing. Her English is pretty good and she has never ever sent texts like these with punctuation all over the place and not making contextual sense. More context. She is due in town for Christmas. Should I wait till then or catch her off guard before that in her campus? That's the end of our last post. Let's see what the commenters had to say. Our first commenter says, I don't think you're overreacting. I would tell her that you know the text wasn't meant for you and that you want to know the truth. If she's never called you babe, it makes sense that it was for someone else. Our second commenter says, her comeback made me laugh out loud. She thought you smelled good 4 years ago, so she says smelling amazing? You learned a lot from that text. She is calling someone babe, she is getting close enough to them to smell, she is horrible on her feet, she is a bad liar. Something is going on. Time to plan your exit strategy. It sounds like she has already started planning hers. Our third commenter says, bro. That's all for today. If you enjoyed, please leave a like and subscribe. Thank you, and have a wonderful day.